Hi storytellers, and welcome back to Create a Story You Love. In today's video, I will be sharing some tips on how to set writing goals for the coming year. These are my lessons learned as I've continued to write and self-publish my books. But before we get on to that topic, I just wanted to say I hope all went well for you if you chose to participate in writing a 50K novel during NaNoWriMo this past November. If you did reach your goal, then congrats. That's awesome. That's a lot of words, 50,000 words. That's nothing to sneeze at. So good for you. And if you didn't reach your goals, it's fine because there are often things that come up, like it did with me. I got started and I was actually kind of on a good roll there at the beginning of November. But then we had a surprise and we decided that we were moving. And so if you look behind me, you can see the boxes stacked up. And so that's what that's about. So needless to say, this new plan of ours of moving has had me busy doing other things like calling, messaging, looking at places to live, and then of course, packing, sorting through, throwing out stuff, that sort of thing. And so all of these things have caused my writing to become a lot slower than I have wanted it to be. And so I am looking forward to when our move is officially done to get back into a steady routine once again. But that's just, how it happens sometimes. Life just kind of changes suddenly. And that's kind of what's been happening for us. And so, but I wanted to share this video because I feel like it's important to talk about setting goals, reaching our goals as we get closer to the end of the year, and sort of as a way of preparing for the coming year. Just, some tips, some helpful tips that I've kind of learned along the way, and I hope something in these steps helps you as they have helped me. So 3 steps to reach your writing goals. Number 1, get clear on your goals. So before you decide to tackle your really big goal, get clear on why you are doing this. Why do you really want to write this book or series? Maybe you have a book series in mind. Because this is important, because if you don't really know why you are writing in the first place, it gets really hard to motivate yourself. For instance, I want to write this book or this series because I want more income in our household. I want to be able to pay, half the bills or all the bills. I want to have these books that I've had in mind to write for years. I want to be able to have them, written and on the shelves so people can buy them. That's honestly one of my big goals with this middle grade fiction. It's literally been, I don't know, at least 8 years that I've had it on the back burner in my mind, and jotting down little notes here and there, and but that's kind of what this one is, for me. So maybe you have something for you that you really want to write this book. Maybe you've thought about it for a long time, and now's the time to write it, right? So I just want to encourage you to really think of why you want to write this book or this series, and then set realistic goals, which can be kind of tough to do, quite honestly. You could start out small. Just say, okay, I'm just going to write 500 words a day, 5 days a week. Or, you can challenge yourself. So if you average already 1,000 words a day, you could just go in increments, okay, so I'm going to try to write 1,500 words a day. Is that doable? And then see what works for you, right? And map out times, when you're going to maybe you have kids in school and they have, when you have to visit the teacher, or days when you're sick. But leave space in your schedule for just things that happen in life, right? And that will help you to set realistic goals, because when you get too far behind in your goals, it can start to feel you start to feel discouraged because, it's like, oh, I'll never be able to catch up and I'll never reach my goal. So, why try anyway? Well, I want to encourage you to keep going, even when it feels like I'm never going to reach my goals, or it's just too overwhelming. If it's too overwhelming, then just bring your daily word count so that it's less. So instead of 500 words a day, try for 250, or start at 100 words a day, and then track how much you write every day. And I think you'll be surprised at how much you'll get written in your book. But I feel like if you have a realistic expectation, it will be very motivating and help you to stay on track. So instead of, I used to, when I first started writing, I would sometimes think, okay, I'm going to set these goals, and they were so large, right? And that was me trying to set my goals to where I wish I was, instead of starting from where I actually am. And I think maybe that was the mind shift I needed to take, so that it became more realistic to have these realistic expectations. And that also helped with my motivation, because then it felt like, okay, well, this is realistic. I can do this. If I set these word counts for this day, like I started out 500 words a day, which is doable. Okay, so I can do that, and then I would track it, and write it down in my I have a journal where I write. I write down my schedule for the day, and then I write down the word count I want for that day, and that really helps, right? The tracking really helps. So I encourage you to have realistic expectations and set those if you need to start smaller goals, I think that will help. You'll find that very helpful for you. Then number 2, create a plan. And this is really helpful to have a plan. It will help you to reach your writing goals. If you are a new writer, you can make it a goal to start to learn when to write, what time to write, and then the location that works best for you to write. And I encourage you to try different times of day and see what works the best for you. Like if you get up early, you could start writing from 6 to 7, for example. And then, write down in your daily journal, write down, okay, I got 300 words done in the morning. And then if you can write in the afternoon, maybe you write in the morning for 1 week, and then the next week you write in the afternoon from, 2 to 3 in the afternoon, or 1 to 2. And okay, so I got 500 words in the afternoon, and then maybe the next week after that, you try evenings and you write from 8 to 9 p.m. And maybe in the evenings you write 700 words. And so you find out, okay, well, it seems like the evenings are when I get more words done, because that really adds up over a week, right? You'll have, triple the amount from what you wrote in the morning, if evenings happen to be your time, right? When you can write the most words. So these are some of the things to think about as you are planning your schedule, just kind of keeping track of what works best for you. And that's honestly some of the most powerful, one of the most powerful things you can do, because you find out what time of day is best for you. And you could also work that with location too. Like you can try in a coffee shop, you could try, at home, what works the best for you. And I encourage you to set a 90-day plan. I learned this from Sarah Cannon, who writes 90-day goals, writing goals. And so you would have a goal from January to the end of March, and then the start of April to the end of June. It's like quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 in the year. And when you have 90-day goals, it's feels a little bit like a fresh start after every 90 days, right? So you get to reset yourself, which I don't know, I kind of like that. It feels almost like a new beginning every time, right? After every 90 days. So I kind of like that. I encourage you to set a 90-day goal, and then make sure that when you are setting your goals, just like we talked about, but that you have scheduled in, oh, okay, I have this doctor's appointment here. I have this, I have to meet with one of my kids at school, like with a teacher. Okay, so I have that, and then I should write off maybe 3 days where if you are someone who gets regular headaches or whatever, you know, okay, so I'm gonna block off 3 days, and so say that in total you have, I don't know, 22 days. Okay, I have 22 days of where I can write. So if I were to write 1,000 words a day for 22 days in that month, okay, so I would have 22,000 words written for that month, right? So you can kind of think that out and map it out for yourself, and write it on your schedule that way. And then you can even have rewards, if after that week you did get 5,000 words, so each week if you're writing 1,000 words a day and you got 5,000 words, you could give yourself a reward, some kind of reward, to help motivate yourself. No, I think that really helps, right? To be able to have these rewards that and these goals that you're working toward, and I don't know, for myself, when I see myself starting to achieve my goals and to really reach the goals I've set for myself in my writing, I find it very motivating. So I encourage you to try that. So number 3 is stay focused. And this is important, but it's also a tough thing to do. But when things get tough with your writing, maybe you think, oh, I don't know what, this character isn't speaking to me, and this happens to me in the middle of the book, but where, I don't even know what are they supposed to do next? Where is this supposed to be going? And, maybe this isn't the right, then you start to think, oh, maybe this isn't the right book for me to write. Maybe I should be working on something else, right? And for me, when this happens, it's a sign I'm getting distracted. This is the difficult part in the book, and what's happening is I'm getting distracted by the fact that it's getting, it's in the difficult spot. And I think this happens to all writers, but I want to encourage you to push through, to stay focused when the writing gets tough. And sometimes it is a matter of forcing yourself to stay focused, which maybe isn't what you want to hear, but this is what I've had to do as I'm writing. Sometimes I just have to force myself to stay focused and, motivate myself and say, okay, you really want to get this done by then, because this is what's going to happen. It's going to what? It's going to increase your readers. It's going to increase your income. It's going to, it'll just feel good to have another book in that series finished. These are things I tell myself. But whatever motivates you is what you should, tell yourself especially during those hard times, those tough writing days, which we all get, right? And if you sometimes it helps to have an accountability partner, because they will help you get through those really difficult moments in your writing. And as a side note, this is just my experience, but sometimes I can make an excuse. Oh, well, I just don't have time today. If that's like 5 days in a row where I say I just don't have time today to write, then I know that I'm making an excuse and something else has become a priority. So I want to encourage you to make your writing a priority, right? Think back to what your goals are and to what the end result you're wanting, and that will help motivate you. And then, just get clear on the goals that you want to reach for the coming year, or even for this month, right? To finish up the year strong. I encourage you just to write those goals down and really write down your why and get clear on your why. Why do you want to write this book? Because you don't want to, fast forward 5 years into the future and regret that you didn't write this book or this book series, right? So I just encourage you, start simple. If you need to start simple, that's fine. But write down the goals that you want to have and your reason why. In fact, I encourage you to, tape it to your computer, put it on a sticky note. I do that all the time. And write down, okay, this is why I want to write this book. This is what my end goal. This is the results I want. And it'll help as you're writing, because you look down and you'll say, oh, yeah, I actually really do want that result. I want that goal. This is okay, so I'm going to at least write those 500 words today, because I'll feel better, because I'll know, okay, so I'm a little bit farther than I was before, right? These are the types of things I tell myself. So I hope it's encouraging for you. I hope that helps you as you begin to make your plan for even finishing the year strong, but starting the next year in that first 90 days, that you will reach those goals in the first 90 days. So I hope that really works for you. Now, as far as the next video, I'm not sure when that's going to come out. It won't be until after we move sometime. So, yeah, so I hope that things go well for you in your writing as you finish off the year. And we will see you sometime in the next year. And if this video was helpful for you, hit the like button and subscribe and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you.